Okay, so I wanted to do a video to talk about what is in your packet. So, looking at this carefully, the very first page you're going to see is the schedule. And so on the front, it's got right here, March 30th through April 3rd. And then if you turn it over to the back, it is the next week's schedule. And I'll get this posted online as well. Next, you're going to find, stapled together, the 2 stories for the 2 weeks. So, first story, Bud Not Buddy, that is this week's reading. And then a few pages in is the next story, Global Warming. So remember, you can read these online in Wonders, but also they're on paper in case you need them. Next, you'll see for this week's, talks about the theme, the vocabulary, the spelling words, and then practice stuff on the back like we normally send home for homework. So make sure you look at the vocabulary, do the practice on the back. The next thing in here is the trifold. So this is something you're going to start on Wednesday after you've read through the story. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And these are broken down on the schedule what to do each day. Then next, also for this week, is 1 sheet of cursive. So R and Q. Remember, take your time. Make it look nice. If you want to do extra paper or extra practice, pull out some paper and you can practice those letters. The next thing in the packet, this is stapled, has, these are the paired passages. So we have Unit 9, 10, is that right? Unit 9, 10, and 11 in here. So 9, 10, and 11. And then basically you're reading the information and answering the questions. Then for the end of the week, we have first the selection test. So the front side is the vocabulary, the back is about the story. So open book. Now I realize with the vocabulary, there is nowhere to look these up because you don't have the Wonders book, but you can go online and look in the glossary or pull out a dictionary, or feel free to Google it because this is open book. Okay, then the next thing in here is the weekly test. Also on Wonders, you can do both these tests online. You're reading the information, answering the questions, and this is for Friday. This is the end of the week. So that is everything that's language arts for the first week. We'll get into the math next. So then let's look at next week's. Again, you can see the difference. We've got the divider page here, the new spelling and vocabulary, the new theme for next week. Also, the trifold for next week, the cursive O and P for next week. Then the next set of paired passages, 12, 13, and 14. And then the selection test, it's on yellow. The weekly test on yellow also. And then that is all the language arts for the first 2 weeks. Now, next in your packet for you guys will be the pages ripped right out of your math books. So, just separating them because mine are copies. So, tomorrow's math lesson is going to be right here, 11.8. We are still doing volume, still using these cubes, rectangular prisms. These math lessons are going to be live all week at 10 a.m. So look at the link, but you're going to want to attend. When we finish the math, we will actually be talking about the language arts and other stuff that you're supposed to do that day. So if you tune in, most of your work is going to be done for you. I don't want you to just do the packet. You need to tune in and learn the math because it's going to be so much easier if you tune in and let me teach it to you versus reading through the math pages. And besides, that's really boring. So after you get through, so for this week, You're going to do 11-8 on Monday, 11-9 Tuesday, 11-10 on Wednesday. Thursday is 11-11. And then Friday, we're going to move into review. So there is a little review packet. We'll be doing this together online. So starting Friday. So that means continuing into next week, we'll be doing review together. There'll be some quizzes and other activities we're going to do so that you can review. And then next week on Friday is the test. And this is online, so you don't have to do the paper one. But you can if you want to, but I would prefer you do it online so I can get a grade and see what you're doing and see if we need to do additional practice, okay? So that's the math for the next 2 weeks. It's just finish the volume chapter, review, and test. Okay, next in your packet is this page here. This is for social studies. There's this really cool game on iCivics called I Have Rights, and you actually get to pretend you're the lawyer. And this sheet of paper is actually what you want as like your little cheat sheet on what each amendment is. And so this gives you practice. The link is already on the class website, so you can get to it. So I suggest, it's really fun, but it gives you a good way to practice and learn what the amendments are, and that's part of what we're doing in social studies. Next behind it is just this stapled packet. This is for the whole 2 weeks, so definitely get online and play the game because that's what's going to give you the actual practice. So we talk about the Declaration of Independence. The next page is starts into the Bill of Rights, and the information you're basically focusing on the first 10 amendments, which is the Bill of Rights. That's for the first 2 weeks. And then you have a small social study or science packet, about states of matter. And you basically are just going to read through the information, answer the questions. These are little task cards, so you're going to have answers on each of those. And this is for the whole 2 weeks. And actually, this is where you record the answers from the little task cards. So we're not putting a lot in here. So watch online because I know for me, for sure, I'm going to be posting some Edpuzzles and other activities that you can do to expand your knowledge on the social studies and science content. So it's not a lot of work. So if you check in for the live lessons from 10 to 11, and if we find that's not enough time, we'll change it, then you're going to have most of your work done per day beyond your reading that you need to do. So if you're checking in, we're doing most of this stuff together. It'll be much easier if you log in and do it with me. So if you have questions after you've watched this video, please send me an email, and I can clarify anything that didn't make sense to you. If you're needing translation, I can talk to Miss Dora and she can call. So please let me know. I need to be in contact with your students. They really need to be in those live lessons. That's my opportunity to teach to them and for them to learn from me instead of trying to figure things out on their own. They'll be much more successful if they log in. So there's your 2 week packet. I'll put together another video in 2 weeks about the next packet, so that you'll have that information. But then at least this way you can go back and watch this video as many times as you need about what's in this packet. So have a great rest of your weekend, and I look forward to chatting with your students tomorrow at 10. Thanks.